Hello and welcome back to my garden. My name is Allie. We are here in West Georgia. It is around the middle of May, May 18th. It feels pretty good out here. We have so much to show you. So much has changed since the last garden tour. We have added to the farm. So without further ado, let's go check out the garden. Okay, here we are at the entrance of the garden. My husband has continued to work on the fence, and we will have this garden fenced in before we know it. I'm super excited about how this muscadine is progressing. It really leafed out, and I'm even seeing some tiny muscadine fruits starting to form on here. And I recently went to a muscadine talk at our local farmer meeting, and they said that you really should have 2 muscadines for proper pollination. So I got a second one here. I love the way a lot of this is starting to grow and really get established. I have the black-eyed Susans here, which I recently learned are called ranunculus, I believe. And then we have some canna lilies right here. Oh my gosh, hon, look what I just noticed. That's a pumpkin down here.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that funny?
When did you plant that there?
God, months ago. A lot of our sunflowers are really starting to look beautiful. And one of our favorite parts of this garden so far has been this Confederate jasmine that's really just starting to take over this arbor here. I just think it's so beautiful, and you would not believe how fragrant it smells. Oh, I just ripped a leaf off. Sometimes when I touch plants, I break them. Good job, baby. She just added some compost to the grape.
Good job, little girl.
She did. She's wiping the sweat from her brow. This pepper bed continues to struggle, and I don't know if it's a case of just peppers are slow to grow or if there's something wrong. So I have fed them. I've put some fertilizer on them, and then as a foolproof precaution, we did buy some started pepper plants. But I am confident that my little peppers here are going to grow.
Because my number one goal this season is to make what?
He wants to make, my husband is dying to make cowboy caviar and
No, cowboy candy.
Cowboy candy. And obviously you need peppers for that. Baby, don't break the... So what I'm learning this gardening season is that I'm a little impatient, and I will sow just way too many things for a space. So for these green beans, I was like, they're not coming up. But I was just being impatient, and they did end up coming up, and there were way too many of them in this space. So I've been slowly going through and thinning them out. But this is exciting. These green beans are definitely starting to take hold of this trellis. And I think in more of my impatience, I planted a squash here that is totally loving its life and coming up very strong. Hi, baby. Look at her, hon. Are there ants on that? There's going to be ants in your pants. This squash is just, I think it's squash. Yeah, I think this is a squash.
Yellow.
It's just, my goodness,
Look how
looking
big
so
those
good.
leaves are.
I mean, yeah, they're gigantic leaves. I mean, they're like 3 of my hands. I'm not the best at pruning, so the tomato's already getting a little jungly, but we have lots of tomato blooms, so I anticipate lots of tomatoes. And this is good to see. These tendrils on the green beans are definitely starting to take hold here. And the eggplants are looking good, and there's even some eggplant fruit popping up on those. I do remember early on in the season, I was paranoid nothing was going to grow, so I did tuck in a lot of pumpkin seeds everywhere. So I think that's what this is. And that also might be what's growing on the arch trellis right here. So as we walk through what will eventually be covered arch trellises, we get to these two mainly tomato beds, but the cucumbers are looking so good here. They are definitely starting to take over this arch trellis. I just got to keep training them up. And just more tomato madness. These sunflowers have grown so much. We have got a ton of rain this spring, and that combined with the heat of Georgia, it's just making everything grow very beautifully. See, some of my irises are starting to pop up here. Looks like some zinnia flowers are also popping up. And we have some random squash plants that we put in the ground that are looking very good here. I will say I'm a little disappointed with my flower backdrop dream I had for this right here. I planted a bunch of wildflowers, climbing varieties, but they've been slow to take off, and hopefully they will, but... And just in an attempt to try to support these tomatoes, my husband is an electrician by trade, so he has a lot of this wire in our workshop, and he's using that to go from the beds to the arch trellis, just to kind of give some support to these tomatoes so that they're not totally lying against the soil.
Cages.
Yeah, the tomato cages can be super expensive, so we're trying to just support them with what we have. This area of the in-ground garden is definitely more slow going than the rest of the garden out here, but things are growing. There's been so much growth since the last time we did a garden tour. I don't know why it's a little bit slower here, but I'm seeing progress. So we have a lot of tomatoes over here. We have a couple of eggplants and peppers, and we tucked in a few squash plants over there. And then we have our potatoes right here, and these are starting to look really, really good. Just ignore the one that I somehow planted in the middle of the path. I thought we could harvest some lettuce right now to give to our newest addition to the, it's not really the garden, but our newest addition to the farm. So I'm going to get rid of most of the lettuce in here. It's so hot in Georgia that this lettuce is just very bitter now. But I'm going to start growing lettuce inside under our grow lights so that we can have lettuce throughout the summer. It's just too hot in Georgia to grow lettuce. Lettuce likes it pretty cool. So we'll go ahead and clear out this bed so that we can plant something that likes the Georgia heat, like okra.
Come here.
Why are you sitting in the garden, baby?
Can you bless the cord?
This is pretty. I just noticed this. It's milkweed that I started from seed right here.
Oh,
and
right behind you. It is determined to rip out the...
Yeah, my little girl is just dying to rip out these. I forget what they're called. I'll put it on the screen, but they're so pretty, and my little baby just wants to rip them to shreds, which is fine.
Look how wholesome our water, Miller Lite.
We don't drink alcohol anymore. Let's go take this to our surprise farm update.
Oh.
Wonder what it could be.
What is it?
And then there's not too much change here. I obviously way overplanted the snow pea triangle, which I think has impacted the harvest. There's just not that many snow peas, considering this is such a mess of snow pea vines. But we actually have eaten a lot off of this. I don't think I needed to, oh look. I don't think I needed to plant it quite as densely as I did.
This thing
But
is dense.
they are a very good
There's like a
garden snack.
huge ball of vines. Pretty.
I don't know if you can hear my husband, but he said it's just a huge ball of vines, and he's not wrong. I kept replanting the same thing because I was convinced it wasn't going to grow, but I was wrong. I grew just fine. And then over here, I taught my little girl how to spot strawberries, and she is...
That was a mistake.
It was almost a mistake because she is the #1 strawberry predator we have in the garden.
She's like a little bunny rabbit.
She is worse than the bunny rabbits. I actually saw bunny rabbit poop right next to these strawberries.
You did?
But it seems like the animals haven't really found. It's finally time to reveal the secret surprise addition to the farm, which is pigs. Let's go look at them. So we got 2 female Tamworth piglets. And, oh my God, hun, look. They're starting to
On a weak
root.
spot.
Yeah. Do you want to show that?
Yeah. We're waiting for the electric netting should be here any day, but until then, we just kind of have a camp set up.
I know we really should have probably waited till we had our electric netting, but
This is the chicken run. We just temporarily split it in half.
what I was thinking is that this is like the perfect training area for pigs. So when we get our electric netting, which is hopefully sooner rather than later, because I really hope they don't root out of here, we can train them to that electric netting in this area of the chicken run. But we're excited, a little intimidated, a little nervous because we've only ever had chickens, but we need pigs. We need pigs to clear some of the land in our
That
forested
land over
parts.
Back behind the chicken run, all that over there is what we're gonna start with.
So I'll put in some good shots of the pigs so you guys can see them. They're very cute and we love them. And I think they are going to be a great addition to the farm. It's so nice to have pigs on the farm because they are basically the garbage disposals of the farm, and you can give them pretty much anything. And they are going to love all the scraps from the lettuce bed. Thank you guys so much for walking around my garden with me today. I will see you on the next one. Bye.